All right, people. We all know that Trump derangement syndrome is an incurable disease, but there is one disease that is even more lethal and dangerous than Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, you guessed it right. It's Israel derangement syndrome. It is so lethal and aggressive that if you are a big fan or supporter of Trump, but then you catch this bug of Israel derangement syndrome, then you can even go full crazy lunatic on Trump as well. There are some names that have been making waves for a few years. Look, I have never been a fan of these people. I have a 7-year social media history. You would never see me praise these people. One of the biggest, craziest, unhinged lunatic person who's done really well for himself over the years is Alex Jones, the original tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, the original shit maker. He has been in the business for 25 years or so. So he's done well for himself. The guy has come up over the years with some of the wackiest conspiracy theories. And, you know, a broken watch is right twice a day too. So if Alex Jones got a couple of things right, then that doesn't mean that all the wacky, crazy conspiratorial shit that he said over the years, like the Sandy Hook massacre was a horror. And of course, my favorite, they're turning the frogs gay. Gay frogs. He peddled that conspiracy theory, I don't know, 10 years ago. I haven't seen many gay frogs hopping around, you know? I haven't seen a sharp decline in frog population. Actually, if they're turning them gay, we have a cane toad infestation in Australia, and they have absolutely been destroying our natural flora and fauna. So maybe turning them gay might not be that bad if they're doing that. And if they can do it, then please do it to the cane toad infestation in Western Australia. So he's one of them. And then you've got Megyn Kelly, who I used to like, but I haven't really paid much attention to her lately. And Candace Owens, oh my God. She is the face of Israel derangement syndrome these days, but she goes beyond that. So instead of me saying it, Trump finally lost it and commented on that. So this is a very interesting long tweet that is worth reading. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. They may not say this explicitly, but let me tell you, President Trump has diagnosed this as explicitly as one should, because not attacking Iran means you give them freedom to do whatever they want to do. Hold the region hostage, terrorist proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. And as long as they affect Israel, Tucker and Megyn, and I don't know much about Megyn, but Tucker and Alex and Candace Owens, they're okay with that. They support that. But President Trump is the president of the United States, the most powerful country in the world. Therefore, he cannot just look the other way that, oh, it's Iran doing that. This is the reason why Iran has been a belligerent in the eyes of both the Democrats and the Republicans. Trump is the only president who's actually done something about it, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. Okay, well, I'm not going to debate with you on that. They're stupid people. Stupid. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off televisions, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they can get some clicks because they have the third-rate podcast, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me. That's actually true. And just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. That's actually true. Let me quickly share that with you just so you know.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. And this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve. 100%, 100%. If you are a member of MAGA in the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again.
Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. That's actually true. This is a very well-documented event. And Elon Musk threw him a lifeline. He said, you can conduct your interviews exclusively on X. And that gave him a new lifeline. And then you saw how he went to Russia and did a softball interview with Putin and listened to him like a schoolboy that he is. He's also a massive anti-Ukraine and pro-Russia simp. So this guy is crazy. And look, President Trump is a very shrewd man. He used Tucker Carlson's talking points. And let me say that the whole Epstein file scandal, President Trump, before coming to power, he was fueling these conspiracy theories. And now when he came to power, he suddenly said, oh, well, why are you demanding that? Well, Trump, you promised. This was a dead issue. Trump used those talking points because he saw that he could get a lot of votes. And then it became a thorn in his eye. That's just politics. This is why I don't buy this idea that Trump is an idiot. Trump is a very street smart, clever politician. He's a very smart man. He knows how to read the room. He knows how to read people. That's why these idiots like Cenk Uygur, who's always dying of a blood pressure, he's like, oh, Trump is a fool. He's an idiot. You're telling me you are a fool and you can be an idiot and you can win the White House twice? What does that say about your country then? No, Trump is a very clever man. Yes, he puts on these different hats. Sometimes he plays dumb. He plays the madman theory. It's all calculated. Trump is not an idiot. He is going to go down as one of the most clever, smartest politicians of our time, period. So that's why I actually admire Trump. I don't agree with everything that he does. He also campaigned on an anti-Ukrainian stance. And that also became a thorn in his eye because when he came to power, he didn't completely cut off Ukraine because he couldn't. Because it's one thing to repeat populist talking points, but it's quite another when you come to power and then act on them. You can't act on them because we can't lose Ukraine. America cannot lose Ukraine because it gives America a lot of leverage in that region. You can't just hand over the keys to Russia, who is the West, and by extension, America's foremost adversary. So Trump plays this friends and buddies with Putin, but he's not. That's another thing, how these European leaders read it completely wrong. Learn something from the Iranians. Iranians flattered him. They simped for him. They named some non-existent roads after Trump, and they promised that they're going to build statues of Trump, and Trump got sucked in. That's exactly what Ukraine should have done. I've been saying this for a very long time. Just simp for him. Just flatter him. Just say we're going to name a city after President Trump. But they didn't do it. They still missed the trick. Even during this war, these pathetic, stupid European leaders, all they had to do was say, hey, President Trump, give your undivided support to Ukraine, and we'll give you undivided support in Iran. And Trump would have agreed. You can see how desperate Trump was. But these guys are idiots. They don't know how to read Trump. And Trump is a genius. I'm sorry, he's a genius. Sometimes he gets it wrong, but he always gets out of it. Isn't that amazing that you can make some political blunders, but you can still come out of that unscathed? Isn't that amazing? If that is not being smart, then I don't know what is. Any other politician, any other president, any other prime minister in the free West would have had to resign for what Trump has done. But no, Trump moves on. I have enormous respect for Trump because he's a genius, not because I agree with everything that he says. So anyway, this is another hurdle. So these 5 clowns have been attacking him nonstop. So he finally came out and he said, you know what? I'm going to put you effers in your place. Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college, he was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now infamous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she's not. Candace Owens is a loose, crazy, unhinged lunatic who could only exist in the age of social media, because when you're a social media influencer, you would find some people as crazy as you, and as a result, you would find some notoriety. So there's nothing special about Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she's not, and will hopefully wins lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Absolutely, I think she will. Actually, to me, this is the best part, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace Owens. In fact, it is not even close. You gotta love Trump. He knows how to hit you where it hurts the most. Oh, goodness. Or bankrupt Alex Jones. You know why this is funny? Because Donald Trump himself has filed for bankruptcy at least on 3 or 4 occasions. But only Trump can use that as an insult towards someone else. I don't know how Alex Jones would have responded to that. But that's the beauty of it. He's going to get bogged down in this. Bankrupt Alex Jones. Hey, what about you? You filed for bankruptcy 4 times, Trump. If I'm a failure, then you're a monumental failure yourself. But then Trump can easily turn around and say, but hang on a minute. But did you become the president of the United States 3 times? Because that's how Trump would say. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things. And he's always said some of the dumbest things. But this is it. Donald Trump is not a hypocrite. He is a smart, shrewd, clever politician. He's always known that Alex Jones has said crazy, stupid things. But he has also known that, maybe I can use that a little bit to my own advantage. And he used it twice. Trump used Alex Jones twice and discarded him as a worthless piece of shit that he is. Well done, President Trump. Well done. I couldn't do that. If I were a politician, I couldn't do that. But that's just me. That's why I'm not president. That's why I'm nobody. I am nothing significant, okay? If you're going to judge a person because of his tactics, then you know what? You're fighting a losing war. Because in the real world, as long as it's not illegal, and I'm a big believer of this quote of Arnold Schwarzenegger, don't break the law, but break the rules. I believe in that. So that's what Trump has done in his entire life. And look at him. History is going to remember him, not you or me or Alex Jones. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works. Don't hate the player, hate the game. So Trump is just playing the game, and he did not make these rules. Bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims. One more thing. In that trial, you know what Alex Jones said? He said, when I jump in front of a camera, I'm playing a character. I didn't mean that. I was playing a character. Really? His career should have ended then and there. But no. When you're saying batshit crazy things, you would always find some people who would agree with you. And that's exactly the case with Alex Jones. Ridiculously claiming the Sandy Hook massacre was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they will always be losers. Now fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives, which is a huge incentive for them. Keep going against Trump. Because the loony left has forgotten everything, and they're simping for these guys just because they're hating on Trump. That is the power of Trump derangement syndrome and on the part of the left, and that is the power of Israel derangement syndrome on part of these 4 lunatics. There's a 5th one as well. Trump is just going to mention her now. They're not MAGA. They're losers. Just trying to latch on to MAGA as president. I could get them on my side anytime, which is true. But when they call and I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs, and I'm a president of the world, you losers. I love Trump. He knows how to put you in your place. After a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Traitor Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. True. I love it. I hope President Trump doesn't back down. I've been hearing a lot of crazy stuff that President Trump is just looking for an off-ramp. I really, really hope that he doesn't abandon. And that's why I have faith in Israel, because Israel will be saying, hey, Mr. President, we got to finish the job. The UAE and Saudi Arabia, they're all saying, we got to finish the job. MAGA is about winning, and strength is not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. They're losers. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. Thank you for paying attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So that obviously did not go unnoticed. And that crazy lunatic, Candace Owen, she's saying, it may be time to put grandpa up in a home. Honey, you need to get ready for filing for bankruptcy because you're going to lose that case against Macron's wife. I'm not a fan of President Macron, but this was an uncalled for, nasty, nasty attack on the First Lady of France. Even if she was a man, which she's not, how do you know? What do you care? Just because you hate Macron, I have been criticizing Macron for a very long time, but I never thought about going after his wife. Again, these people are unhinged, crazy lunatics. So I can't wait for a financial demise, as President Trump said. And look at this one, Marjorie Traitor Green, another one suffering from Israel derangement syndrome. This disease, guys, is uncurable. Once you fall into it, there's no way out. They become more unhinged, angry. They start screwing up their faces. Have a look at Anna Kasparian. She used to be a wonderful, beautiful girl. But then Israel derangement syndrome hit, and she's gone. Totally unhinged. Cenk Uygur, he radicalized her. I don't know, but the story, frankly, I don't care. But these guys are total lunatics. President Trump has gone mad as he wages war against Iran, a broken campaign promise. If I say I'm not going to get involved in any war, but then an opportunity presents itself when you can take out one of the worst enemies of my country, then if I don't do it because of a campaign promise, then I'm not a statesman. I'm not a leader. I'm just an opportunistic politician. Because, what am I going to do? I worry about my base. Besides, Trump doesn't have to worry about his base. And it's not a needless war. It's a necessary war. I fought alongside Tucker, Meghan, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones to help get Trump elected. What do you want, a medal in return? And now he goes off on a rambling rant against all of us in one post? Oh. I'm sure you loved it when he rambled against one of your ideological opponents. We never changed. Trump did. America first. Going after the Islamic regime of Iran, a regime that's been chanting death to America for nearly half a century, is America first, you low IQ, historically illiterate, intellectually bankrupt clowns.